Hello, 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 hello. Let's see if I'm live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please put a 1 inside of the chat if the video that I am doing right now is working. If it's working, please give me a 1. I really appreciate you guys showing up today and just watching the video. So today, let's jump right into this. We're going to be talking about how to get a $10,000 cleanup and then a $17,000 cleanup within 26 days of each other, like my mentorship student Anna Jean did recently. I'm so excited to be able to kind of pull back the covers today and just help you guys out. If you're watching this live, please type into the comment section hashtag live, hashtag team live. Give me 1 sec. My computer froze, it looked like. My computer froze. Type in team live if you are watching this with me live. If you're watching the replay of this, please type in team replay. I would love to be able to see, what my audience is and how I'm able to help you guys out. Next, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I cannot wait to just dive a little bit deeper into exactly what you need to do to start getting these giant size cleanups very easily and very consistently. If you have any questions that come up from a result of this video, right inside comment hashtag connect and I will, answer any questions you have, maybe in a personal message, maybe in the comments below, whatever you need in order for me to make sure that I'm able to help you out. So let's dive into it. First things first. The reason why I'm providing this training today is because when I first got started about 6.5 years ago in my business, it was incredibly difficult. We didn't really have access to Facebook and LinkedIn to the same way that we have now. It was not as common for people to want to connect with you really, really easy and really quickly using the internet. But nowadays, you guys can take full advantage of these options that are available to you. So you don't have to make the same mistakes I do and don't have to go back into corporate America for a year and a half like I did. So, if you guys want to learn, let's jump right in. First things first, you need to understand how to communicate value. Okay, this is the easiest way to start adding $4,000 to $10,000 per year to the value of a new client. So, in order to do this, you need to start developing this skill set of talking about value. Now, this is not necessarily, everybody kind of gets it wrong. It's not necessarily your intrinsic value, which it is very high if you've been taking the time to go and grow your business, you're going to the market, you're talking to new people, and you're growing. But the value we need to be talking about is why is this service valuable to the person who is going to be paying you money? This is not a hack. This is not something that you learn kind of like in a little YouTube video or you read inside of a post. This does take a lot of practice or and/or if you start working with someone like me who can just say, okay, this is exactly what value is. Here's where you're messing up the value. This is why people are not buying from you. That's when things start changing. You start being able to go a lot faster. Now, when you understand how to communicate value, you essentially unlock the ability to start charging $5,000, $15,000 up front, and then you start being able to go and get the monthly service as well. Between the $500 to $1,500 per month price point for bookkeeping and monthly accounting services. Now, how to do this? You need to think solely on where is the value in this conversation. I was talking to a mentorship client, mentorship student who just started a couple weeks ago, and we were talking because she didn't really understand why people always ask her, why should I pay you more than this other person? That is generally a question of where's the value? I don't see exactly how this is valuable. Why should I pay for the explanation you just gave me more than the person who is charging a lot less and basically said the exact same thing as you? What that comes down to is you're not asking the right questions during your consultation in order to understand why is this important to the person. What's going wrong? What are the emotional aspects that are, really struggling when this problem is not solved? If you're just asking transactional questions like how many transactions you have, what type of transactions, how many bank account, all these really factual statements, you're going to get to the end of the first 5 minutes. You'll think you have all the information you need. You'll give them the quote, and then they'll be like, "Oh, based on what we just talked about, that's only worth $150 a month or $50 a month." So we got to start learning how to do that. Most people they don't understand that Cleanups inherently have value. Generally, there's a problem that someone needs to have solved, which is a cleanup. That's why a lot of the times you'll see some of my testimonials that I post on my personal profile, like these guys getting like $15,000 up front, or $11,000 or $10,000. It's not necessarily that they're like great salespeople. It's that they understand that if somebody has messy books, they have a problem. And your job needs to become, okay, so someone has a problem. You hear what the problem is. You hear what is the motivation to solve this problem. You hear what is the urgency or the time frame for them to solve this problem, and you start reflecting it back to them. For example, some common questions that you can do in order to start reflecting the value. Do you know how much money you made last year? You'd be surprised how many people are making a lot of money on paper, but they don't actually know how much money they made. No? The reason why you don't know is because your books are a mess. Here is exactly why it's important for you to fix this now. And then you state your statement. Next thing, do you know if you are profitable enough to scale your business? They're probably going to answer no. That's because your books are a mess. Dot, dot, dot. Insert whatever you're going to say next. Another way you can do is, if you get audited because you are a nonprofit, are you confident that your designation will not be revoked? No, no, that's why I'm kind of here, because I'm afraid that if I don't get my books clean right away, then I'm not going to be able to maintain my designation. My friend just lost her designation a couple weeks ago because her books were out of whack and she was trying to do it herself on Bench or QuickBooks Live, and it just wasn't up to par. So then, they came in, she got audited, they weren't ready to do it, and she lost her designation. Okay, cool. Now you're starting to understand value. Now this conversation is very valuable. Now people are willing to pay you money because you can start leveraging. Okay, well, if we're going to avoid your designation getting revoked, we have to do this. If you don't want your designation to get revoked, we have to do this. This is why most people get their designation revoked. And you just keep hammering on that point. Hammering on that point they find valuable. And at the end of the call, they don't really mind paying you an inflated price because they know they need to fix this now. If you struggle or if you are not communicating the value, you're going to be hearing these things come up. The business owner might say, well, how are you different than the other person charging $150 per month? The business owner might ask you, are you, going to be an hourly contractor? I'm not going to pay you an employee wage, or you're not going to get benefits, but, can we pay you hourly? Maybe the business owner will ghost you if you don't properly convey the value. They'll just, okay, cool, send me an invoice or send me something, send me a contract. Never hear from them again. Another thing that might happen if you do not convey the value is the owner balks at the price that you quoted. If you're saying $5,000, $10,000, and the person's like and has a heart attack, that generally means that the value has not been built up enough. They should understand that if they have a problem, it's going to be very expensive for them to start solving this problem, and they will be okay with it. Assume that you're talking to the right business owner who has enough budget to do this. I'll talk a little bit later in this training about how to go and find those people. Now back to if you're not conveying the value. The business owner might excessively haggle with you to lower your price. Another symptom of failing to convey the value is the business owner starts asking you about your certifications, your education level, or your website. A lot of people get really afraid because they either don't have a website, or maybe they don't have the best certifications, or they don't have a huge amount of education or experience inside the industry. And generally the reason why is because, people, when you're first starting on the consultations, if you're not doing a great job of conveying your value, people are searching for different things to grasp on in order to either discredit you or to try and find, like, okay, I kind of like this person. Let's see if they can maybe convince me why I should go with them. And they don't have enough trust into working with you because you're not speaking about their problems. Now, instead, you have to start building this value into your consultation, just like we were talking about. You got to figure out, why is the person on the call today? What problem is keeping them up at night in relations to their accounting or their bookkeeping or just their business in general that you can help solve and you can help talk about and start putting yourself inside of that communication. Another really cool pro tip that most people struggle with is the principle of regurgitation and reflection. If you're taking in all these problems and all these ideas that the business owner is telling you, You need to be able to listen based on those questions that we talked about earlier into what they're saying. What is their motivation? Are they a person that's very money conscious? Are they a person that's speed conscious? Are they a person that makes really quick decisions? Are they a person that has 5 or 6 or 7 different stakeholders they need to talk to? Is the person who, maybe their spouse is the other stakeholder and they're sitting in the other room next to you and you need to get them on the phone to talk to them at the same time? You got to be able to start listening, and then you can start making your presentation of how you're going to help them based on exactly what you heard and the type of buyer that they are. Now, if you don't know how to do that, go inside the comments and type in hashtag improve my sales, and I'll actually send you a guide on how to improve your sales and make your consultation close a lot better and a lot easier. It's a very, very in-depth sales training that's going to allow you to be able to just close people at a higher rate without them having to give you a bunch of like weird objections like where'd you go to school? Did you not go to school at Harvard? How much experience do you have in the industry? This is going to help you out with that. So now, second thing that we need to do in order to start charging cleanups to start getting $27,000 per month. Every like building and every like establishment has this where they have the skill crane, which is like this. You close a hand, you pull out, and you pull out. In our case, we gotta go into wherever we are on social media. We gotta go use the magnets. We gotta pull out value and pull out people who are going to pay us. In some cases, 6,000 all the way up to $20,000 to $30,000 per year for our service. Now, how to do that? You need to learn how to go and take a pool of people, convey your story, your values, and your brand in a way that gets them to come back to you without you being overly spammy or promotional. So, option one, you can go and create your own pool. Now, this does take a little bit more time, and if you're really crunched for money, it's probably not the best option for you to do right away. However, long term, if you're trying to go and make, $200,000 a year, or in some cases $500,000 per year, depending on your level, you got to start being able to create your own pool and start being able to create your own audience of people who actually want your help. And it's just a matter of time as to when they're going to sign the contract and pay you the money. Now, ultimately, again, this gives you the most control because your social media posts will start working. You'll start being able to start putting out your social media posts, and instead of it going out to like the void of silence or the abyss of ignoring people, you're gonna start getting people reaching out every single time that you post, which does sound a little bit, hard to believe if you've been struggling to get your posts working. But I have mentorship students every single time they make a post, they get someone reaching out saying, "Hey, I just saw your post. I do need some help. Can we hop on the phone to see if like this is a good fit?" I want you to get to that level, so we're gonna keep talking about this. I don't know if we're gonna touch on how to make content today, but in the future, we're gonna be continue to talk about that. Now, keep in mind when you're trying to build your own pool, the main challenge is the GIGO principle. That means garbage in, garbage out. If you have a bunch of low revenue slash small mindset business owners inside of your pool of attention, you're going to have very, very, very hard time getting people to pay you a lot of money on your consultations. If you don't have the right people who are seeing your message, very hard to go and turn someone who's making like 5 figures a year max to give you, 15, 20 grand a year. So we got to get the better people inside first. Next thing, the second option, the easiest one for most people to use when they're first getting started. This is actually what brought in the $27,900 in April for Anna Jean, is going into existing pools, posting your non-salesy conversation starting content, and getting people to reach out to you. So most people in the accounting space or the bookkeeping space, if you're an accounting professional, EA, whatever it might be, most people do this very incorrectly. What tends to happen is we spend our time making like a flyer about our business. It has cool branding, our colors, everything looks pretty and amazing. It takes us 3 to 4 hours to make this thing. It has our phone number, it has a link for people to book calls, and we post it in like 50 or 60 different Facebook groups. And it either gets no attention or we get kicked out of the group, so we never get to see whether it got a response, or it gets a bunch of MLM or like really really spammy people responding to it. They send you a friend request and they just try and sell you a bunch of random stuff that, you might not really either want, or it's just not going to deliver you money. Instead, you need to learn how to talk about what you do in a way that is conversational, gets people to start talking about themselves, and builds a very quick, maybe 2-second feeling of connection. When you do this correctly, high quality business owners want to continue the conversation, and oftentimes they will send you a direct message just to get to know you a little bit better and really see if you have something of value to them. Your job is then to vet the people who message you on whether or not they'll be a good fit to work with you. Maybe they're an industry you don't like working with. Maybe they just don't have enough revenue. Maybe they're just too new in business to actually help you out. Maybe you just don't like them as a person after talking to them for a couple minutes. You got to be able to start learning how to do that. And then it's very simple. All you have to do then is just invite them to a consultation, talk to them for a couple minutes, use the script that I talked about earlier, and then people start paying you money very quickly, very easily. Now remember, if you don't have this sales script, or if you don't exactly know what to say, or you don't have your pricing correct, there's nothing more demoralizing than finally getting $1 million business owner on the phone, but you don't have an accurate way to quote very quickly, or you can't answer the question, why should I pay you what I could be paying a lady up the street who just, graduated high school, who's willing to work for $9 an hour? Why should I pay you more than that? If you're not prepared to answer that question, which comes up a very lot if you don't do your sales consultation correctly, it's going to be very hard to make all these methods we talk about work. However, I am here to help you out. If you want some help learning how to either improve your pricing, improve your sales, or being able to go and get the right people to start coming to you, send me a message. I'd love to answer any questions you have, build a relationship, and see exactly how I can help you out. If that's you, I would love to talk to you. You can type in hashtag connect, and I'll just be right around the corner to help you out. Hopefully you enjoyed this content today, and I cannot wait to work with you in the future. I want you to be my next success story. I want to be able to post, hey, this person just did $30,000 in their first, in 26 days. For Anna Jean, she had just started her business 45 days ago. And it doesn't take a long time. She got 3 clients within, I think it's been about a total of 50, because it's been a couple days this week, so about 50 days. She got 3 clients, $27,000 from 2. Then she also signed up another client that's paying her $650 a month. It doesn't take a lot of time when you know exactly what to do, and you have somebody in your corner that's guiding you, keeping you accountable, building up your confidence, showing you exactly what's worked for him in the past. If that's what you've been searching for, and you're looking for that, send me a message. I'd love to just meet you, connect with you, and see if I can help. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I will see you inside of the next video. Take it easy, guys.